wasn't sure what I was supposed to do with him. And they ended up being just amazing, wonderful friends, and she adored him like everybody else who gets to know him. And I'm so thankful for all the Wednesdays that Jimmy shared in chapel, and he did one of our very last chapel messages that was absolutely phenomenal, and I know will be in students' hearts about their own potential and their own call and God's love in their life. And Jimmy also led an advisory at school the whole year, which is a small group of 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Our son Jude was in it, and there were 8 different advisors, and all of us, including me, the 7 of us, we were kind of low on the totem pole, because whenever the students would talk about who their advisor was, if they heard that they were in Mr. Sweden's advisory, we were like in the cool advisory. So I had no hope of being the cool advisory this year, because it was all Jimmy. And one of the things I loved is that Jimmy would come out at lunch when the students were out there, and he would just be out there to talk with them and be with them, and how amazing and wonderful that was. So thank you, Jimmy, for all the blessings that you were on the school side of things too.
Well, Jimmy, you willing to come up here and talk a little bit?
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Well, I will do my best to keep this brief. I see the beauty of this room is it was designed with a clock on one side of the room and then the stage on this side, so you can see it while you're speaking. So we have one of those in the sanctuary. Nobody uses it. But it's there. I've been saying that. I've been really busy this week, but trying to hopefully get some jokes and get some zingers in here while I still have the chance. And so I've been thinking about the pastors, and they're awesome, and they're all different. You know, Pastor Steve is he'll do a lot of history and teaching during sermons, and Pastor Tim is very relatable, and Pastor Paul is very wise, has a very soothing voice. So Pastor Steve will make you think, Pastor Tim will make you feel, and Pastor Paul will make you sleep. And I was trying to think of some material for Pastor Steve so I could roast Pastor Steve up here, and I was not expecting what you were about to say tonight. But I was in the office this week, and I said, Pastor Steve, I can't think of, I don't know how to roast you. And he said, well, I'm about to turn a new decade this year. Maybe you could talk about my age. And I said, you can't give me material. I said, then that's the reason why I can't roast you. And he said, or, I used to be a youth director. Why don't you make a joke about that? And I said, stop giving me material. So I can't really roast you very well. And then there's Pastor Tim. Come on, people. Yeah, brother, my brother. See, the thing about, just saying. So Pastor Tim and I have to tell the joke you said in staff meeting because, what are you going to do now? Fire me? So we were in staff meeting, and it was a more solemn devotion, and it was about death and about how you should plan. No matter where you are in your life, you should have a plan for your own funeral. So so that can be, so you're not putting your family through that, trying to figure out what to do. And so your example, Pastor Paul, is, and now we're all sitting around, staff meeting. This is our devotion. And Pastor Paul says, what happens when somebody, a family member passes away and you don't know if they want it to be cremated or buried? And Pastor Tim leans over and says, half and half. Most gruesome image in my head. And we couldn't keep it together. Meanwhile, the devotion was still about death. And our shoulders are bouncing. He tried to pull it off as a sneeze. Which did not help. Let's see, and of course I can't be up here doing a roast without talking about Howard Sansegar. And I just have to say, I'm really glad that you made it out. I know it's a few minutes after your bedtime. Or I thought there must have been at least some specials at some local restaurants that you could have been at instead. So I'm just glad you were able to make it out tonight for this. There are countless jokes I made, also during staff meeting, such as there was I remember, Pastor Steve, you were not going to be here, so at staff meeting you said, I'm going to be out tomorrow, I'm going to be at a presentation about the ancient scrolls, and Howard offered to be there, and I said, it would probably be nice to hear from somebody who was there. A primary source. There were pretty much every staff meeting we went back and forth. That was a great time. And is Corey still here? Because there she is. I just have to thank you because I'm moving back to the Midwest, kind of Tornado Alley. So walking through your office, just it's a good reminder of what the aftermath of tornado went. So thank you for that. And obviously, as youth director, I have to just mention some of my times with the youths and the things I'm going to miss. I'm not sure what my next job is going to be, but I really hope that there are teenagers telling me what to do during that job. Yeah, I'm going to miss that. I also am really going to miss never running out of toilet paper. Every couple months I got just a supply. And there's... Yeah. Yes, and thank you, Stephanie. Yes. And I also want to just clarify, Stephanie is not the landlord who kicked me out last summer. That was something youths. I don't know where to start. We've had a great year. We had a roller coaster year. We had some good times. We had some disagreements, but overall, it was awesome. This group, they're not the troublemakers that the horror stories of youth ministry where they're doing drugs on the back of the bus or any of those, or at least that I know of. But on this last choir tour, I saw a crowd around the back of the bus, so I thought I better go check out what was going on. And I see Troy holding onto a fishing line and a Hulk Hogan action figure dragging behind the bus. Which is, I like the idea, and it was funny, but at 70 miles an hour. So none of the big issues, but they're weird. They're just weird enough to make you laugh. And you'll notice, they all talk like me. Those jokes that they came up and read were all kind of quotes that I have, but it's something that Liz noticed when she came out to visit. She said, your whole youth group talks like you. So I told them that, and they said, what do you mean? Oh, okay, I got it. Oh my God. So we've kind of had a lot of give and take, and I just have to say that this congregation has been amazing. I mean, it's been a big transition year. It was big shoes to fill when I stepped in here, and I had my work cut out for me. And I had just graduated college, and this was also, my first job out of the gate. And I mean, I pretty much had to just jump in with both feet. But I had support from the congregation. I had support from the youth most of the time. I always had pastoral support, even when we were arguing right at the beginning. It was for a better cause, and we worked through it. And as much as I give these guys a hard time, just in fashion of doing that, as part of the roast, I gotta say that it's tough to leave, because it's hard to leave a good thing, and I got a really good thing going for me. So thank you all for being here. This is amazing. So thank you.
We love you.